Hi, my name is John Spencer and welcome to another edition of our mini lessons. Today we're going to talk about a perceived disadvantage that pianos have over organs. Many students ask, well, why do organs have two levels of keys? And when I explain the reason why, it is often assumed, I guess, that this reason is why a piano is a bit deficient in one way, and I'm hoping to explain today how that perceived deficiency can be overcome and how you can use a feature which you may have never thought about using on your digital piano to allow it to basically function as easily as an organ with two levels would. Let's take a look. One very noticeable difference between a piano and an organ, be it a digital piano or otherwise, is the fact that the piano plays everything on one level where the organ gives you the opportunity of playing on the top or on the bottom. Now, there are a couple reasons why an organ was designed that way, but for our purposes at our class, what we usually speak about in terms of a benefit is if you're playing a very fast-paced song and you'd like to make a change in the sound, it's much easier to change keyboards as opposed to being forced to hit some buttons. I'm going to play for you today the song Whistle While You Work. And I'm going to be playing on the organ, which is on the lower keyboard here, organ sound rather, and the whistle, which is going to be on the top keyboard. So you're going to hear the on the top keyboard, whereas the bottom will be the organ, in this case with a little bit of a bell sound. Now again, using the two keyboards, you're going to see me playing the vast majority of the song here, but when I need that whistler, I'm going to bring my hand up top. Here's what we're going to get. Put a little introduction on, play a chord, one-level instrument. This Yamaha Clavinova, this is the CVP 709, has 88 keys, but all 88 keys are on one level. But just like an organ, I can have a sound in the left hand, and I can have a sound in the right hand. So I can put on a band, if you will, in the chords, but I can play notes in the right. But if I was looking to make quick changes, the way that it's set up right now wouldn't make it that simple to do. Certainly not as simple as the organ did. I do have a sound here in the right hand. Okay, but I can change that sound. Now I can reach up and hit a button. Maybe I want to go to the vibes. But that would mean that in the middle of the song, I would have to make a quick change from, let's say, piano to percussion, all while playing the song. And let me show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to play a song from Monty Python called Always Look at the Bright Side of Life. I'm going to reach up and change my voices, and you're going to see I'm going to struggle with this a little bit. It's not very easy to reach up and get your hands back to where they were. But needless to say, we'll give it a try and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to start with the piano. I have my band set here. Now, again, I struggled with that. There's a pretty long reach for me to get over here to the right-hand side. Now, they do have these one-touch settings, which allow you to jump back and forth between one arrangement and another. Button number 2, for example, gives me the piano. Button number 3 Gives me something new. There's some strings. Button number 1 is the pizzicato strings. Sounds like that. And 4, a nice what they call golden trumpet. But again, it's still buttons over here on the right-hand side. May not be jumping up to the voices, but still, a button is a button. I have buttons over here in the registration memory where I can put specific sounds that I want. There are certain advantages to that, but there is not an advantage, again, in that I'm hitting a button, which I was not hitting on the organ. And many people look at that and they take it as face value and they say that the organ is much easier to play just because it has those 2 levels. Well, one thing that you may not know about the Yamaha Clavinovas is, yes, you can have a sound in the left hand here. Yes, you can have a sound in the right hand here. But you can also split this right hand into 2 different sounds. One here, and maybe one over here. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. It's going to make this transition as easy as it is on the organ. Let's take a look. Here's a close-up of my screen. Now I'm going to be using a rhythm style called tap dance and swing. Don't pay so much attention to the side of the screen that says Autumn Leaves. I happened to be playing that earlier. That's just sitting there. If I'd like to go back to it, it's just a very easy way for me to get back to it. What I would like you to notice here is that we have 3 sounds in the screen. The CFX Grand, where it says left, pizzicato strings, where it says main, and the glockenspiel, where it says layer. Now just under that, we can see the keys. Above left, above main, above layer, I see all 88 keys. Now above the word left, it's very small, but you may be able to make out a second line. Now that second line represents the chords. That's where my chords are going to be played. Now you notice that little line, which ends basically at the end of that button left. The purple keys continue over to the right-hand side. Well, those purple keys are going to be the sound of the piano. To the right-hand side of that, where the purple keys end, well, those are going to be the pizzicato strings and the glockenspiel. So what I've basically done is I have split the 88 keys up into 3 different sections. A section on the left-hand side all the way over where my chords are, a section in the middle, which is where I'm going to hear the CFX Grand, and a section over on the right-hand side where I'm going to hear a combination of the pizzicato strings and the glockenspiel, which means I'm going to have a lot of instruments playing together. I'm going to have the rhythmic section, which is going to be the drums and the bass and whatever instruments are playing rhythmically in the background. So I'll have a slew of instruments there. Let's say 8 or 9, maybe more. I'm going to have the grand piano. We'll add that 1, we'll make that an even 10. Then we have the pizzicato strings and the glockenspiel on top of that, which is our 11th and 12th instrument conservatively. There could be many more in that rhythm style itself. Set up like this, I can make these changes just as easy on the Yamaha Clavinova as I could on the Lowry. Let me show you. Here we are back with our bird's eye view. Now again, I've split the instrument up, believe it or not, into 3 different sections. I have a section for my chords, I have a section for my piano, and then I have an upper section for my pizzicato strings and the glockenspiel. So here's one sound, here's 2 sounds, and the 3rd sound will be my band. I'm going to start the band up by playing a C chord. I'm going to be using the 3rd introduction, which is the most orchestrated of the 3. Here we go. Thanks for joining us this week. I hope you got something out of it. If you have any ideas in regards to subject matter that might be beneficial for us to do in future episodes, please send us an email with your ideas and we'll look to see if we can get them into something that we do down the road. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you soon.